Welcome back to Heart Before Cart, the show where I give you practical and actionable tips to increase your conversions. My name is Talia Wolf and I'm a conversion optimization expert. I've helped hundreds of brands and thousands of marketers optimize their landing pages, their funnels, their websites to help them drive more leads and sales and conversions. Let's dive straight into our first segment, into the optimization verse, where I teach you something super practical that you can act on right away. Today, I want to focus on one of the biggest mistakes that marketers make on their website, and it is to do with social proof. Here's what you need to know about social proof. Social proof isn't a filler for your page. It isn't just nice to have. It's actually one of the strongest sales tools that you have in your arsenal. And if you use it correctly, it can do so much of the heavy lifting for you and drive a ton more conversions. So what is the mistake that everyone's making? Not being deliberate about their social proof and not actually thinking and planning for it. Most brands go about it by simply adding the customary logo bar to every page they create with different generic logos. Then they add the customary testimonial section, which you have to have, but it's filled with generic and fluffy quotes that no one can relate to. Social proof has one very important job, and that is to dismantle any concerns, hesitation, or roadblocks that are preventing people from converting. When someone comes to your website and they are concerned about something and that may stop them from converting, your social proof should do the heavy lifting of dismantling that concern. For example, if you know that the biggest concern people have before choosing your solution is that it will be too complicated for them to use on their own, you have to include testimonials from existing clients about how easy and intuitive your solution was to use, or how the support team was so helpful and holding their hand and helping them actually get the job done. That is your social proof's number one job. Your goal shouldn't be to collect random testimonials that simply say, "Oh, I love this brand." It's to strategically place the right customer stories and quotes throughout your customer journey to help people feel seen, safe, and that they can trust you and buy from you. So how do you go about creating this kind of incredible social proof? There are 3 simple steps. Number 1, you want to make a list of the top 3 hesitations or concerns that may be preventing people from converting. If you don't know the answer to that, there are multiple ways to go about it. You could interview your clients, you could run a customer survey, you could scour Reddit and actually look at conversations that your prospects are having. I gave a whole lesson on this in our previous edition of Heart Before Cart. You could download all the chat transcripts from your website, or actually look into all the sales calls that your sales team has been having and put all that information into ChatGPT and ask it to categorize it into 3 buckets of concerns or hesitations that people have. Or you could just ask your team, the people that are actually speaking to your customers from customer success or from sales. But the number 1 step is to actually know what may be preventing your prospect from converting. Step number 2, I want you to look for the stories. What that means is that if you know that there are 3 main concerns that people have, find people who have mentioned these concerns before. Look into customer interviews and customer surveys, and look into other customers who felt this way before converting and don't feel that way anymore. Locate those stories. Step number 3, use those quotes and testimonials on your page in the right section. So you don't actually have to have one testimonial section. Actually, every time you make a big claim or a promise on your page, you could include a testimonial that supports your claim. Basically, the goal is that before anyone can start worrying about something not working or that you're overpromising something, there would be a quote, a testimonial, or a logo by someone who experienced or felt the same way and no longer feels this way. So those are the 3 steps. Identify the main concerns people have, Find conversations and calls and stories by people who felt the same way before using your solution. And 3, place those testimonials strategically throughout the page. Here's some rules you should know about testimonials in general. The strongest testimonials are given by people who have the same role and sound like your own prospect. So if you are speaking to service providers, or if you are speaking to parents, make sure that you are including testimonials from people like them so that they can relate to them. The more specific you get, the better. Don't just use generic quotes. Let me show you an example from one of our clients at Get Uplift. As you can see, on the left, weak social proof is Get Uplift is one of the best vendors I've ever worked with. Did Mick say that? Yes, she did. But here's an even more specific quote that people can relate to and get more information from. Get Uplift is one of the best vendors I've ever worked with. They are truly partners and an extension of our team. The flexibility and the range of projects we can work with them is great. There's a difference between the generic testimonial that could be said about everyone and the specific, more deep testimonial that focuses on the positive and the value that you deliver. Okay, final pro tip. If you want to streamline collecting these great testimonials, one of the best tips I can give you is to place a survey on your thank you page. Simply ask one question. What's one pain or challenge you're hoping our solution can solve or lessen for you? Collecting that information will give you so much more insight into the pains that people are hoping to solve, and you can use that for high converting social proof. Let's move straight into our next segment, infinity tests. This is the segment where I break down an A/B test or an experiment that we ran at my agency, Get Uplift, and I explain why we ran the test, what we learned from it, and how you can apply it yourself to your own A/B tests and experiments. Today, I'm gonna break down a test that we ran a few years ago for a software that helps you create beautiful infographics. This is the control. This was their original landing page. As you can see, it says, easy to use infographic creator, discover how non-designers are creating beautiful infographics in less than 10 minutes. On the left-hand side, we have a tutorial video that explains how you can simply drag and drop different elements and create infographics really easily. And on the right-hand side, we have different bullet points that are all about how the product worked and what it does. Now, when we first started working with this company, the goal was to increase signups, but more importantly, to increase the amount of people who create their first infographic, because this company knew that once someone created one infographic, they were way more likely to create more. And that would mean that they would convert and that they would actually upgrade to the better plan. So one of the first things that we did is our emotional targeting research. Our emotional targeting research is all about uncovering why people buy. What actually motivates people to come to this kind of software or this kind of website and sign up and create infographics. Beyond features, beyond technology, beyond pricing, what are people looking for? And we ran different interviews and we did some surveys, and what we uncovered was really interesting. The people using this software weren't designers, they were marketers. Marketers that felt that they were drowning in a sea of other marketers, and they really wanted to create infographics that stood out, that made them look good, and that would help them sell their own ideas internally to their team and to their managers. But when we looked at this website, we noticed that everything here is about the product. Easy to use infographic creator, do this in less than 10 minutes. Point and click, choose from over 400 templates, extensive image library, unlimited customization, drag and drop video. Everything on this page is about the product. And so what we did is create a new landing page, putting the customer in the center. Make impressive infographics, create beautiful infographics in less than 10 minutes. Instead of showing them how to use the product, we showed them the outcome. We spoke about the results. But that wasn't all. Below this fold, we also included information about how not having any design skills can still mean you being able to stand out in a crowded room, can still mean that you can sell your ideas when you use a product that empowers you. In addition to actually optimizing this page, we also created a new email nurturing sequence. So when someone signed up and started creating an infographic, they received a series of emails from us, each one touching on the pain of being a marketer, wanting to sell your ideas, not having really any design skills, the fact that there are so many tools out there that promise to help you, but in the end you spend hours and hours tinkering and tweaking stuff and never actually getting the result that you want. Now, because we made it about the customer, we were able to increase signups by 24%. But even more important, we increased their paid customers by 76%. So if you're thinking about your next A/B test right now and you're looking at your landing page and you're not sure why it's not converting, you're not sure what element to change, one of the first things you should ask yourself is, am I making it about myself or am I making it about the customer? Simply changing the narrative to make it about their results and their outcomes and their desired outcomes can really have a huge effect on your bottom line. Usually during the utility belt segment, I cover one type of tool that I recommend, something that I use every day that I really think that you should try out too. This week, I want to talk about a different kind of tool. I want to talk about community. I don't think people understand how much a good community can impact your life and your career. Being surrounded by people who push you, that you push them, that you support each other, challenge each other, and answer each other's questions, and are just working together to help each other out can have a huge impact on your business, on your career, and even on your personal life. Over a decade ago, I joined a community of 10 other women who all own their own business, and we have been supporting each other ever since. We have in-person meetings, we have online meetings, we have a panic channel on Slack, and we have been there for each other through every step of the way. I truly believe that the power of community is unstoppable, and I think it can be one of the biggest tools to help get you out of burnout, to help push you to the next level, to help you become better even as a person by helping other people. And I cannot recommend this enough. Join or create your own community. Let's move on to the Wolf Rundown, the weekly segment where I tell you what I'm working on this week and where I'm at. This week, my team and I wrapped up 3 different tests for one of our clients, which was really interesting because one was a loss, one was a win, and one experiment actually was flat, meaning the control and the variant had more or less the same conversions. But when we did a bit of digging, we actually uncovered that the quality of the leads actually went up with our variation. So we're still looking into it, but these are the kind of insights that I love because sometimes the impact that you have when you run meaningful tests can be so much more impactful on a business, but you have to know what to look for and you have to come with intent with every test. The other thing is I'm working on a new book bundle. What that means is that up until now, you could purchase the book either as a paperback or, which is over there, or you could get the digital copy. But very soon, there's going to be a bundle available, which means workbooks, worksheets, spreadsheets that you can use to start putting the book to work immediately. I'm really excited about it. We're working on launching that, and I have a feeling we're going to also have some really cool Black Friday offer for it, but I'll keep you posted. Okay, that's it for me this week with Hot Before Cut. I cannot wait to hear what you think. Comment, like, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I will see you here next week again.